In this lesson we focus on the breath. Usually in Kumne we don't start with the breath. If you're just running and sitting down on a pillow or sitting down on a chair and you're taking some time to practice, we find working with the breath is not so effective. You first do some Kumne, some physical movements and postures, because they create some inner space. So all our postures, all our movements are expanding and condensing with the aim to create more inner space for the energy to flow more freely. Then it starts to integrate body and mind, the senses with the breath. It's actually a very nice process to cultivate. And in this process the breath is an important part. So after you've worked with the body, especially with the neck and the shoulders, we always start Kumne with some neck and some shoulder, because that's the distribution of energy. So if you awaken a lot of energy in the lower body, but the throat is all tight, that's not a very good thing in Kumne. So first open the throat, it's the distribution area. It makes the energy flow, it makes the energy integrate, more harmonious. That's all functioned and regulated by the throat. So let's say you've done some Kumne, and of course you have, then you focus on the breath. There are 4 parts to the breath. There's an inhale, a moment in between, an exhale, and then a space at the end of the exhale. In the beginning we let the breath find its rhythm because it's so out of rhythm. Once it finds its rhythm, you can begin to develop it. It's a process of refining. And what happens when you refine the breath, then deeper levels of mind, deeper levels of body, and deeper levels of the senses, deeper levels of awareness will come out. That's the breath that actually can go there. With your mind, the breath will go there and bring it back, open it up. So the 4 parts of the breath you want to become aware of. And then we cultivate the breath. If Kumne is done well, the breath will be calm, and the calmness indicates that the energy is of the head and the trunk and the senses, the eyes, the ears, the nose, smelling, and all of that are all integrated. That's what makes you say, I feel calm inside. A calm breathing in Kumne, well, we do it by first letting the breath find its rhythm. That's always number 1. Then we start to cultivate it. We recommend to start with slow breathing, because then we create space for the breath to find more its rhythm. So a calm breath has 3 parts to it. It is gentle or soft, it's even, and it is slow. So in general, all exercises make some kind of reference to how to breathe. And if it doesn't, then it assumes you're doing at least even breathing. But that's tough in the beginning. Don't force it if you don't have some inner space. So slow down your breath. That creates more space. What this breath does is, let's say you work with the shoulder and you release it, you can feel tension melting. That melting tension needs to be transported. And as it is transported through the body with the breath, as the breath begins to circulate that through the body, it becomes pure. It's miraculous. I don't know how it works, but by the flowing, the tension shifts from held, stressed, into more open and easy and natural. So the breath will take the tension that's melting, will process it by circulating it in the body. The breath will go everywhere. So as the tension begins to flow, it's just like water. Stagnant water smells. Flowing water becomes pure. So flow of feelings. We do that with the breath to cultivate that. So sensations and feelings on the one hand and breath on the other, they are the same family. They need to come together. It's the flow of life. They represent the flow of life in the body. So there are 4 parts to the breath: in breath, holding briefly, out breath, then the space, and at first slow breathing. Deeper inhale, longer exhale. The next time you make it more even or soft, you can choose. Soft or gentle is like you taste, it's very special. It requires a soft attitude. You know, when you see a little kid, a happy kid, or an animal sometimes, you immediately adjust to that. You become instantly soft. Not if it's screaming and yelling and you're flying across the ocean, but if you feel reasonably well and there's a little kid coming down the street smiling and dancing and jumping, you instantly become soft. Some people have it with animals. There's something that shifts inside, that's a softness. We can cultivate that. How we are is not how we really are. How we are is how we have become. So we can change. You can make the breath soft, gentle. Of course, you cannot make a gentle breath with a hard attitude. It doesn't work. So you see, the breath and the attitude, the breath and the mind, the breath and the body, they're all very connected. So you begin to breathe sweetly, as sweet as you can. Can you do it at the command? Yes, you can. If somebody calls you that you really, I'm so happy to call, that she calls or he calls, you're instantly sweet. It doesn't take any time. You don't say, well, I feel really bad. It will take 10 minutes before I can be sweet to you. No, you're sweet and happy. Just like that with the breath. Make it sweet. How do you make something sweet? Something to do with the tongue. Make the tongue touch the upper palate lighter, sweeter. Sweeter. Very soft breath. The breath becomes softer, gentle. Do we want to become soft? You bet. But with the even breath and the slow breath, there's also a stableness, a stability, and a firmness. So we want soft, stable, and firm. That's what the result will be. So after slow breath, then soft or even. And even, that's really the breath that we use a lot in Kume. You breathe evenly through nose and mouth. And actually, if you want to refine it a little bit, it's 25 through the nostrils and then 50. But you don't do that rigorously, not militaristic. It's just like a gentle intent, like even. As if you briefly instruct the breath in the nose and the mouth to do it evenly. Brief intent, a touch of awareness. And awareness knows how to breathe evenly. You don't have to do it. Awareness knows. So an even breath is through nose and mouth, but an even breath is also that the inhale is the same time as the exhale. So this is a lot of instructions. It's all about let the breath become natural and normal. And then refine the breath. As we refine the breath, we refine the senses. We refine how the mind operates. We refine how the energy flows through the body. So if you like meditation, if you work with breath, you can go deeper. And in order to successfully work with the breath, do some Kume exercises because you have inner space. And then meditation comes so natural and so spontaneously, and it can happen all in a few minutes. So develop your breath. First natural, let it go. If it's choppy, let it be. Then the three parts, the slow, the soft and gentle, and then the even. And they together will make the breath calm. Now whatever is inside you will come to the surface, and you can be yourself. It's nice, huh?